Imagine being handed like a $15,000 gift card to help buy a brand new
Oh,
house.
that sounds like a dream, right?
Right. But then you realize a few months later that this so-called free money is actually going to cost you $38,000 over the next 30 years.
Yeah, and then just as you're trying to swallow that financial pill, your property taxes suddenly double on some random Tuesday.
Oh, man.
Or, your insurance company hands you this massive bill for a new roof after a hailstorm instead of the check you were actually expecting.
Okay, let's unpack this because if you are listening right now, whether you're planning to pack up a moving truck and head to Texas, or you're already living here trying to navigate this absolute madness, you need a reality check.
You really do.
Today, we're going on a comprehensive deep dive to decode the actual hidden financial machinery of the 2026 Texas real estate market.
Because there is a lot happening beneath the surface.
Exactly. Our mission is to, strip away all that glossy marketing hype and equip you with the exact math and the hidden traps of buying either a brand new build or an older existing home.
And we are pulling from a really revealing stack of source materials today to do that.
Yeah, tell them what we've got.
So we're looking at a 2026 Builder Incentive Guide from the Levi Rogers Real Estate Group.
Great data in that one.
Right. And we're pairing that with a 2026 home insurance analysis from Brock Insurance Group. And then just to ground all of this in reality, we have a highly detailed 5-year financial forecast for the rapidly growing city of New Braunfels, Texas.
Yes, New Braunfels is going to be our prime micro-study for this deep dive because before we can even begin to understand how people are buying homes right now, we have to understand why the market is operating in such a frantic, distorted way.
Right, the fundamental pressures.
Exactly. It all starts with the massive influx of people. I mean, let's look at the numbers.
The population growth here is, it's staggering. Between 2010 and 2021, the population of New Braunfels grew by 71%.
Wow. Wait, 71%?
71%.
That is like an entirely new city just being dropped on top of an existing one in just over a decade.
Yeah, to put that in perspective for the region, that's triple the growth rate of the San Antonio metropolitan area over the same exact period.
Triple.
Yes. And it's nearly double the Austin metro area.
That is wild.
And right now, New Braunfels is growing by about 5.01% a year. And remember, that is compound annual growth.
Right, so the raw number of people arriving gets bigger every single year.
Exactly, just like interest building in a bank account.
So let's translate that into actual human beings for a second. Like, how many moving trucks are we talking about here?
Well, the city is adding roughly 3,738 to 5,616 people every single year.
That's a lot of moving trucks.
It really is. And looking at their 5-year forecast, they're projecting a population pushing toward 122,000 to 133,000 residents by 2027.
Unbelievable. And where are they all coming from?
This migration is coming primarily right down the I-75 megaregion. So folks migrating from Bixar, Hayes, and Travis counties.
Well, the local economy is roaring, which, it explains the draw. Job growth in the area has fully recovered and blown way past pre-COVID levels.
Yeah, the job market is incredibly tight.
Right, like the local unemployment rate is down to a mere 3.1%. And this isn't just retail or service jobs. The data shows a huge boom in professional services and office development.
Which brings in higher salaries, too.
Exactly. Office vacancy is remarkably low, sitting at just 3.8%. And the rents are actively rising.
But all those newly employed people, they need a place to sleep. And the housing makeup in New Braunfels is heavily traditional.
What do you mean by traditional?
So it's roughly 72% single and two-family homes and only 28% multifamily.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So when you look at that 71% population spike against that specific demand for single-family homes, you start to see the physical mechanisms breaking down.
Right.
This kind of sustained growth puts immense crushing pressure on local infrastructure.
Yeah, we are talking about the unseen stuff, right? Like water lines, wastewater treatment, the actual physical pavement on the roads.
Precisely. I mean, you can frame and build a residential house in a matter of months.
Sure.
But you cannot build a new municipal wastewater treatment plant in a matter of months.
No, absolutely not. That takes years.
Exactly. So the availability of raw, developable land and the heavy infrastructure required to actually support it, they are acting as massive bottlenecks for new housing. The city simply cannot lay pipe and pave roads fast enough to keep up with the people arriving.
It makes me think of this housing market like a high-speed game of musical chairs.
I kind of like that.
But instead of just walking around a set of chairs, the city has to frantically build brand new chairs out of raw lumber while the music is still playing.
Yeah.
And the line of people waiting to play just keeps getting longer and longer.
That is a very accurate way to visualize the municipal infrastructure lag.
But wait, hold on. This brings up a huge contradiction for me.
Okay, what's that?
If demand is as crazy as we just said it is, and infrastructure is bottlenecked, meaning housing supply is incredibly tight, why are builders giving away massive financial incentives?
That is the million-dollar question.
I mean, we are talking about $10,000 to $35,000 incentive packages from national builders like Lennar, D.R. Horton, Meritage, Perry Homes.
Yeah, they're handing out serious money.
Wow. It makes zero economic sense to me. If demand is so high, why not just let buyers fight over the houses or, I don't know, simply drop the sticker price?
It seems completely counterintuitive until you look at how neighborhood appraisals actually work.
Okay.
Builders desperately want to protect the base price of their homes. If they just slash the sticker price of a house by $35,000 to get it sold, well, the next time someone tries to buy a house in that same subdivision,
The bank appraiser uses the new lower price.
Exactly. The appraiser uses that new lower price as the benchmark.
Yeah.
The builder would accidentally tank the value of their entire upcoming inventory.
Okay. So they keep the sticker price artificially high, but they throw a bunch of cash at the buyer behind the scenes to make the monthly payment swallowable.
Exactly that. Especially in the fourth quarter, or on homes that have been sitting fully completed for 60 days or more. That's when they roll out these massive packages.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the biggest trend we are seeing in the 2026 data is something called the rate buy-down.
Let's break this down because this is where the financial mechanics get really tricky for buyers.
They really do.
There are two main flavors of this, right? The temporary buy-down and the permanent buy-down. Let's look at the temporary one first, specifically the 2-1 temporary buy-down. How does this actually function?
So the 2-1 buy-down means the builder is literally subsidizing your interest rate for the first 2 years of your loan.
Subsidizing it how?
It drops your effective interest rate by 2% in year 1 and then by 1% in year 2.
Okay.
After that, in year 3, it reverts to whatever the standard note rate was when you signed the paperwork, and it stays there for the remaining 28 years.
Wow. So on a $350,000 home, that 2-1 buy-down is saving a buyer somewhere between, what, $300 and $500 a month in that first year?
Yeah, right in that range.
That feels like a massive win when you're looking at your immediate household budget.
It feels great, yeah, but it's really important to know the mechanism behind it. The builder isn't just asking the bank for a favor.
Right.
It costs the builder roughly $8,000 to $8,500 in hard cash to fund that on a $350,000 home.
Yeah.
They take that cash and they deposit it into an escrow account, which is basically a holding account managed by the lender.
Okay.
And every month for 2 years, money's just pulled from that account to make up the difference in your mortgage payment.
Okay, I get it. And the alternative to that is the permanent buy-down.
Yes, this is where the builder buys what are called discount points up front.
Like paying a fee.
Exactly. A discount point is essentially a fee you pay to the lender at closing to lower the interest rate for the entire life of the loan. 1 point usually costs about 1% of your total loan amount.
So around $3,500 on our hypothetical house.
Right. And it reduces your rate by roughly 0.25% permanently.
Okay, so the buyer gets a cheaper monthly payment. The builder moves a house without ruining their neighborhood comps. It sounds like everyone wins.
It does sound like that.
But here is the catch. The preferred lender trap. Because to get any of these massive incentives, buyers are heavily pressured, if not outright forced, to use the builder's in-house or preferred lender.
What's fascinating here is how the math gets incredibly deceptive once you are locked into that preferred lender ecosystem.
Yes. Let's talk about the math.
Because the builder still has to offset the cost of giving you that $10,000 to $35,000 package. I mean, they're a business. They aren't running a charity.
Right.
They offset this by inflating the base price of the home by 2 to 4% right out of the gate. Or they offer you what they call design center credits, say $15,000, to upgrade your cabinets or your flooring.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The Levi-Rogers data shows that the builder's profit margin on those design center upgrades is actually 40 to 60%.
Yep, it's huge.
It's a total illusion. It is exactly like getting a $100 gift card to a luxury boutique where a basic pair of socks costs $90. Like, is it really a gift if they just marked up the price of the socks to cover the cost of the card?
That is the perfect way to look at it. The builder is giving you retail value, but their actual cost is wholesale.
Right.
And the financing math is even more critical to scrutinize. Let's say the builder offers you a 2-1 buydown and some closing credits through their preferred lender, and the base interest rate they are starting you at is 6.5%.
Okay.
If you were to take that same financial profile to an outside independent lender, they might quote you a 6.0% rate with no credits.
Because the outside lender doesn't have to bake the cost of free cabinets into your 30-year mortgage rate.
Precisely. And if you run the math over a 30-year term on that $350,000 loan, that outside lender quoting the 6.0% rate actually saves the buyer about $38,000 in total interest compared to the builder's 6.5% rate with those flashy upfront credits.
$38,000. That's a lot of money to lose over some cabinets.
It really is.
And there is another massive trapdoor with that temporary 2-1 buydown that people don't read the fine print on.
Oh, the refi trap.
Yes. The data points out that if a buyer decides to refinance their mortgage, or if they have to sell the house before that 24-month temporary period is over, they actually forfeit the unused portion of that escrow money.
Yep, it's gone.
If interest rates drop in month 12 and you want to refinance, you leave the rest of the builder's money on the table.
Which is exactly why a buyer has to look far past the monthly payment in year one. You have to evaluate the total cost of the loan over the realistic time frame you actually plan to hold the property.
So let's say you survived the builder's financial gauntlet.
Okay.
You got the keys to your pristine new Texas build and you are enjoying your artificially lowered monthly payment. And then a year later, January rolls around and you check the mail.
Oh no. Welcome to the back-end shock.
Yeah.
The tax trap.
This catches an incredible amount of first-time buyers of new construction completely off guard.
I bet it does. When you buy a newly built home, during the construction phase, the county often assesses the property at a lower, incomplete improvement value. It's essentially just taxed on the value of the raw dirt and maybe some wood framing.
Wait, so my initial monthly payment to the mortgage company, the one the builder promised me, is just based on taxes for an empty lot?
In many cases, yes. The title company uses the previous year's tax assessment to calculate your initial monthly escrow payment.
Right.
But the following January 1st, the county reassesses that property at its full 100% completed market value.
Oh, boy.
When the tax bill arrives later that year, it experiences a massive vertical spike.
And your mortgage company immediately adjusts your monthly payment to cover the massive shortage in your tax escrow account. That year one payment you loved, it's gone.
The only real lifeline a homeowner has here is the Texas homestead exemption.
Okay, tell us about that.
This is a critical legal protection. Filing your homestead exemption removes $100,000 from the school district taxable value of your primary residence.
That's significant.
It is. On a median price new build in this market, that saves you roughly $1,400 a year in property taxes.
But but you have to file the paperwork yourself. It is not automatic.
No, you have to initiate it.
The critical deadline is that buyers must file their homestead exemption with the county appraisal district by April 30 of the year after closing. Now, why isn't the title company or the builder just do this for you at the closing table?
Because the county needs to legally verify that the home is actually your primary residence on January 1st of the tax year you are claiming.
I see.
Title companies can't certify that for you in advance. And builders. Frankly, builders love to gloss over this because once you close, future property taxes are not their problem anymore. The responsibility falls entirely on the buyer.
And if you miss that April 30th deadline, you lose that entire first-year tax reduction.
It's painful.
On a $350,000 new build, skipping that simple piece of paper adds about $115 to your effective monthly payment. That mistake alone wipes out nearly half of the first-year savings you got from that builder's rate buy-down we just spent 10 minutes talking about.
Which highlights the fundamental truth of these builder incentives, While rate buy-downs lower your principal and interest payments, they do absolutely nothing to protect you from the rising costs of property taxes, homeowners insurance, or your HOA dues.
Right. If you take nothing else away from this deep dive, take out your phone right now and set a calendar reminder for April 30th. Just put homestead exemption in bold letters. It is quite literally a $1,400 reminder.
Strongly agree. That is the best advice you can give a new buyer.
So you might think, after listening to all this, I'll just avoid new builds. I am going to escape the builder traps, the inflated prices, and the dirt tax shock by buying a charming, vintage 1980s Texas home in a mature neighborhood with giant oak trees.
Sounds idyllic.
It does, but nature doesn't care about your mortgage strategy, which brings us to the insurance reality.
The Brock Insurance Group analysis is very clear on this. In 2025 and 2026, Texas home insurance premiums are soaring significantly above the national average.
Why is that happening?
This is being driven by two main factors: skyrocketing construction and labor costs to repair homes, and a historically high frequency of severe weather, specifically multi-million-dollar hail and windstorms.
Now, ironically, insurers actually love those new builds we were just critiquing,
They
right?
do. From an underwriting perspective, a brand new home is vastly cheaper to insure.
Because everything is new.
Exactly. It uses modern electrical systems that don't catch fires easily, current plumbing codes that are less likely to leak, and most importantly, it has a brand new wind and impact-resistant roof. Those structural elements mathematically plummet the likelihood of a massive claim.
Which brings us to the older home trap.
Yes.
Let's say you buy that 1980s Texas Charmer. The roof on that house is, say, 15 years old. According to the insurance data, if a roof is older than 10 to 15 years, insurers in Texas are drawing a hard line in the sand.
A very hard line.
They are no longer offering replacement cost value or RCV on that roof. They are forcing homeowners into actual cash value policies, or ACV.
We really need to make sure we understand the mechanism here,
Yeah.
because it is financially devastating if you get this wrong.
Let's walk through it.
Okay, so replacement cost value RCV means if a severe storm destroys your roof, the insurance company calculates what it costs to put a brand new roof on your house today, and they write you a check for that amount, minus your deductible.
That's what everyone assumes their insurance does. Like, my roof breaks, you buy me a new one.
Right. But actual cash value, that's a whole different story.
Where did that work?
Actual cash value factors in the physical depreciation of the materials. So if a hailstorm comes through and totals that 15-year-old roof, the insurance adjuster looks at the expected lifespan of the shingles.
Okay.
If they were rated as 20-year shingles and they are 15 years old, well, they have used up 75% of their life. So the insurer is going to deduct 75% of the replacement cost from your payout.
Wait, let me get this straight. So a new roof might cost, let's say, $15,000 for the labor and materials.
Right.
But the insurance company looks at the depreciation, deducts 75%, and hands you a check for less than $4,000.
Exactly. Leaving the homeowner with an $11,000 out-of-pocket bill just to get a roof back over their head and keep the rain out of their living room.
That is terrifying.
It is. And it's not just the roof on these older homes. To even get an insurance quote on that 1980s build, carriers are now frequently requiring a strict 4-point inspection.
What are the 4 points?
They want a magnifying glass on your HVAC system, your electrical panel, your plumbing, and your roof.
You want to see everything.
Yeah, they're looking for specific liabilities. If you have an outdated electrical panel with a history of fire risks or aging galvanized pipes that are prone to bursting, you might see massive deductibles applied to your policy. Or the carrier might just flat out refuse to cover you for water backup damage entirely. If we connect this to the bigger picture of how underwriters view risk today, it's not about the historical charm of the architecture. It is entirely about the chronological age of the core components.
That makes a lot of sense.
The insurance data makes the mandate very clear.
Yeah.
If you buy an older home, you must aggressively document every single structural update you make.
Like keeping all the receipts?
Yes. If you upgrade the electrical panel, keep the receipt. If you replace the plumbing, take photos. And crucially, if you pay out of pocket to put a new roof on that house, you have to notify your insurance agent immediately.
Because you want the better policy back.
Exactly. You want them to update their files so they can switch your policy back to replacement cost value and drop those age-related depreciation surcharges.
So what does this all mean?
It's a lot to weigh.
It really is.
Yeah.
If you step back and look at the entire 2026 Texas real estate ecosystem, we are looking at a brutal core trade-off. You are either going to pay on the front end via inflated base prices, hidden markups, and preferred lender traps on a new build, or you are going to pay on the back end with soaring insurance premiums, forced 4-point inspections, and massive depreciation risks on an older home.
Navigating this landscape requires a buyer to look far beyond the advertised monthly payment on Zillow.
Way beyond it.
Whether you're sitting in a model home trying to dissect the math of a 2-1 temporary buy-down escrow account, or you're setting an April 30th calendar reminder so you don't get crushed by county property taxes, or you're reading the fine print of a depreciation clause on an older roof. The true cost of home ownership right now is buried incredibly deep in the details.
It really is. The basic calculator where you just add up your down payment and your income is completely obsolete.
It is. And I want to leave you with a final thought. drawn directly from that municipal forecasting data for New Braunfels.
Okay, let's hear it.
We talked extensively about how fast the city is growing and the bottlenecks in infrastructure. But the forecast makes a profound point. Land use determines everything about a city's long-term financial health. As municipalities rapidly run out of raw, developable land, and as they hit the absolute physical limits of their water and wastewater infrastructure, something has to give.
Something's got to break.
Exactly. The traditional Texas dream of a sprawling, single-family home on a large, private lot is on a direct collision course with geographic and infrastructural reality. The math of extending roads and water pipes further and further out simply doesn't work indefinitely.
That's a really sobering thought.
It raises an incredibly important question for the future. Will the next decade force a fundamental shift in how and where Texans live?
Will we have to abandon the sprawling subdivisions for denser, multifamily living like building up instead of out, just to keep these cities financially solvent?
It's definitely a possibility we have to face.
Something for you to ponder long after this deep dive ends. Because whether it's a lack of physical land or the hidden machinery of builder financing, the music in this game of musical chairs is definitely changing its tune. We'll see who gets a seat.